What is up, everybody? It's Jamie back again, and how are you all doing today? Or should I say, nighttime at the time of the day that I'm recording this. And keeping well, I imagine. Okay, anyways, moving on now. I hope you're all having a good day, and it's time I brought another video up. And today, it's something a bit different because, usually I would do just videos about remakes, etc. I mean, remakes were always my passion, but currently this is a remake, what I'm doing. Well, it's not actually an actual remake, it's actually something a bit different I'm doing. It's an audio commentary on my very first remake I did of an actual story from either the TV series or the Railway series, which is actually the first Railway series remake I've done at that point. And it's actually from one of the Reverend W. Awdry's books, and it's from Enterprising Engines, and this remake is on Super Rescue, the ERTL remake. This story is quite a popular one on YouTube. I mean, I've seen many people use Wooden Railway or trains for this kind of story, but I've never seen any actual ERTL ones before. So, about a couple of years ago, in August of 2019, I decided to put my hands together, to actually get my ERTLs out and do a story that has yet to be adapted using ERTL before, to try and make it as accurate as possible, because, I like to have really good sets, and not like little low budget ones. It just turns out a bit weird, but you know what I mean. So anyways, moving on from that now, let's begin the audio commentary. In 3, 2, 1, go. Super Rescue. So we are starting off here with the story and the opening shot. This is a good set. I mean, look, there's Henry there. He doesn't come here until later. Oh, here come the Diesels. Now, this is not like the actual story itself, like how you put the story, like how the Diesels arrived at the sheds. Well, that's what the Reverend didn't add to the beginning of the story. He just simply said they to survey the shed, but that's it. But I added some dialogue in there just to make it look more better and more, stand out a bit more to the dialogue of the story. I'm really quite proud of this shed set I built for the beginning of this set. As you can tell, it's actually made of blocks, and I put a few pieces of wooden track, and for the roofs I actually added to that detail-wise. I got the two special engine shed roofs to simulate the roof as well, but you can see in the background, coming up in a few shots time, when you see the other buildings for like how I've made it out. I mean, those close-ups are not actually intended to be like, the Stories of Sodor kind of thing. Like when the camera moves in different angles in that position. And yeah, like stuff like that. Okay, zooming out here, there's both Doll and Douglas. They made a cameo. You can see the roofs. There's some Hornby buildings and a couple of Wooden Railway ones. It does look best, but I don't think it's really that much of a scale towards differences if I tell you why interesting enough, this is actually similar to the first illustration of that story that I took, because, I also did, but throughout the story I've also captured all the illustrations of the book, like, to make them look like the ones in the actual story themselves. Oh, Henry's stalling a bit. Oh, you can see the edge of the scenery. Sorry about that. I mean, Henry's not on focus. Oh, enter the set. I'm really quite proud of how these countryside sets turned out. I mean, there's a lot of shrubbery in and trying to do some embarrassment. Henry's stalling a little bit. Unfortunately, that's my fault. And this footage is not reversed, if you couldn't tell, because iMovie on my iPad does not have that feature. So that's just how it is. So, top of the set, unfortunately. Okay, look, coming up now is the level crossing set. I'm really proud how this went, despite this. I don't own a triple crossing, but the only problem is in the actual story itself, the crossing had like 3 tracks, but I don't own like a triple level crossing, so I just had to use the double track crossing from the Hornby range. So that was my only trouble I had so far. And you can tell I don't have a signal gantry, so I had to find a couple of other signals to use for that style. And there's no road either. I didn't have road until I got it for Christmas that year. So as I said, this footage is sped up as you couldn't tell. Some of the lighting in this remake could have been a lot better. Oh, interestingly, now starting off in this scene, you can tell I used stop motion for this, because, you know, when I was trying to move Henry and Spam Cam at the same time, Henry kept falling over and they kept getting stuck as well, so that's why I had to try stop motion out. It worked well. That scene just transitioned to daytime when I've continued my filming with 7101. I mean, my stop motion could have gone a lot better. I mean, I could have tried. I mean, it can get a bit better. I mean, I've tried better as soon as I can, but I don't feel like it's very easy and quick doing stop motion. Oh, this shot sped up as well. Oh, there's some like what's it, masking tape as well, and there's some blue tack on one of the coaches on theirs because the couplings on most of the carriages I owned were broken, and I was worried that the couplings were likely to break. Oh, bear is shaking in this scene. Oh, rock and roll bear. Sorry, that's a little pun intended. Start motion again. I could have done a little bit better, like smooth the trains a little so I could actually like prove start motion, but you see I've done also some from my latest remake, the Start Thief one, we're using Tomy trains. These trains actually tend to stall a lot when I move them around the tracks, but it's not that hard to understand. I'm sorry, I need to catch my breath. There's so many of the sets that I'm quite proud of. I could, like, the only difference is the start motion, the way I set these up, you know, how they go in daylight, where at the time of this day, when they're set, it usually turns out okay, but I could probably do better at it. Oh, there's some daylight there. I always make sure I shoot these sets on the day of when they are needed for the actual remake. I don't tear them down until I feel like I've done using them, and etc. Oh look, there's Bolgy making a cameo, despite him foreshadowing for the next Railway Series story. Well, going chronologically, Bolgy hadn't been introduced at that point, so that's just a definite bust in that point. Oh, in a behind-the-scenes photo, which I'll show one day, Elizabeth is there. Well, you can see there are a few other characters you might see there. I think I might include Elizabeth. Well, you wait and see. Oh, there's a few more. Another illustration that I've referenced off in that point. Oh, Henry moved a bit too fast. Sorry about that. Really could have gone a bit better with this, but you know, it's just that I've tried my best to actually like capture how I just did it freelance. But this one is actually Railway Series accurate because you can tell. Oh, somehow sometimes a few of the shots tend to jerk backwards, but that's just my fault since I'm like kind of lazy not to understand. Yep. Oh, there's the shadow of me. I think sometimes you'll see shadows making the lightning go a bit weird. Oh, another Railway Series photo reference. Oh, look at that on the left of the screen. You can see like a little blue shoebox that should not have been there. Sorry about that. I just was used to hold the backdrop up, but I couldn't find like any blue tack or tape to hold the backdrop in place because I was quite lazy at that point and just felt like I needed something to prop up the backdrop to prevent them from falling over. So yeah. Oh, another, like, oh, wait, that's not the same as last time. Oh yeah, edge of the set, a lot of the scenes you can still say. My start motion, you know, I could have done, if I was to go back and re-improve on this remake, it would have to be the start motion and maybe try and make it a bit more shorter, which I'll probably do one day at some point in time, but as of right now other stuff is currently in the way and it just takes my time away. Oh, you can tell the fuel tankers are not all fuel tankers. I only own like 4 ERTL fuel tankers. I probably won't get any more, but there's also 3 tar wagons to simulate as the fuel tankers. Oh, there goes a little shot. This shot was actually a bit too long, so I had to crop the last 2 shots. The previous shot was a bit too long, so I cropped the ending a bit, and this beginning of the shot was also cropped as well since it was too long. You know, there's something a bit different between the fuel tankers. I'll explain later. I mean, I did do ERTL reviews before, but I just didn't have the time or energy to do them, so maybe one day I'll go back to doing them, which may happen. Oh look, Don Flying Scotsman. Some people. Oh, back of the scenery set, edge of the set is visible. The couches seem to bounce like Johnny Bonsoda reference. Oh, sorry, I'm not doing that. Oh, there's my finger. You just saw my finger in that shot on the left of the screen. Sorry about that. I know, I was a bit of a mistake. I just didn't move it out the way at the time. That was my fault. Oh, Henry's lifting the coach up. Oh yeah, that happens a lot. I'm so sorry if I couldn't fix that. Oh yeah, oh by the way, I'm really proud of how well I made the station set. You can see a Mr. Jolly's Chocolate Factory, Wooden Railway, and a Brio Wellsworth, and 2 special engine sets later on in the remake. If you notice that the platforms are a bit higher than the actual ERTL ones, because, you know, I think I could have used Jenga blocks, or any blocks for that matter. Could have made them a bit better. Oh, there's a deleted scene. That could have been a deleted scene, but I was too lazy. Oh yeah, I had to move one of the platform ramps since I only own like 3 of the resin style platforms. And, you know, most of the engines are in good condition, but the one model of mine I had in this remake is in trashy condition. That was from my childhood. That's the Flying Scotsman. Unfortunately, I don't own a second model of it. I really want to get one so badly, but I can't since I don't know how to use eBay, and my parents are just worried about my money budget going down a little, you know, that stuff. I am a big man. I mean, I can do this stuff. I mean, I just really need them to understand it. Sometimes you'll see that the rolling stock and the engines can move back slightly. It's not a coincidence that happens a lot. Oh, I sped this footage up. Could have been a deleted scene as well. And look, I managed to move Donald's just perfectly. Oh, there's Post and Pat's band. Nice little Easter egg there. Bring out a cameo. I had to crop the beginning of this scene since I could not like film the entire scene because Donald I dropped the string of Donald and I had to pick it up again, but thankfully I managed to do it all in one take. There's a close-up of the Fat Controller and the Porter. Okay, when this train moves off, you'll notice something strange in front of that milk churn. Look closely, and you'll see. Oh, look! Magic! The bench just disappeared. I think there was something there at that point, but it might have just vanished in thin air. How inconvenient! Oh, how did I not see that happen? I could have just done like that. Oh, that's probably part of the best stop motion I've ever done. Probably the best, in my opinion, but I really could do better. Oh, bouncy, bouncy! Sorry, that happens a lot. But, you know, that's my one and only ERTL break van. Okay, in this scene, this one was pretty hard to film because Henry and Bear kept falling over at that point. And there are a few problems here and there with moving them on ERTL track. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, this start was a bit too slow. I mean, compared to the actual remake, Henry's actually reversing because, you know, it's hard to tell with the actual story itself if Henry or Bear are reversing. Uh-oh, edge of the scenery, there's a box for my toothbrush. That was not meant to happen. I should have looked better. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that was my fault. Oh, this shot coming up. The tracks lead to the backdrop. You know, it's really funny how I forget about these type of things. I try to do my best to improve, but, you know, my remakes, I try them hard. Oh, look, there's Trevor making a small cameo. Probably it's just another generic traction engine, I would say. That's probably not Trevor. That's just someone else, you know. The rest of the remake turned out okay. I mean, in this last shot here, I mean, this was okay, but some scenes could have been a bit better. I could shoot them on a day where it's daytime or somewhere. Oh, Henry and Bear kept waddling. So, that's the end of my ERTL remake of Super Rescue. Oh, and by the way, these photos at the end are, you know, based off the illustrations that I've wanted to reference for those kind of behind the scenes style, which is something I did for a few other remakes. I've also done it with Edward's Day Out, but not Stop Thief, since it's like, you know, kind of like my own freelance style remake, which I'll talk about in another commentary. So, with all that said, I'm probably going to end it all right here. Is the credits rolling? Well then, that's my old video from 2018 when I shot a really cheap, low-budget version of the Sad Story of Henry remake, which is actually my first remake. I'll talk another day. So, that comes to the end of my audio commentary for the Super Rescue ERTL remake. I could have done a bit better, but, you know, it's okay. It's really good. It's my first attempt at an ERTL remake. Was my first attempt at an ERTL remake, sorry. I could have done a bit better, like maybe, you know, probably better start motion, which I'll try again in the future if I can. So, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that audio commentary, and I'll see you again soon for another one, which might cover Henry's Forest, or maybe Edward's Day Out. I'll let you decide. I'll do a poll on Twitter for that to happen. Okay, so, good night everybody, I'll see you all again. This is Jamie, aka Evening Starlight 97, signing off. Take care.